It was August 19, 1975, in Indianapolis. Three girls, ages 11, 13, and 14, hitchhiked a ride to an arcade night. What they didn't know, the man behind the wheel had planned something far more sinister. By the end of that ride, all three would lie stabbed, left for dead in a lonely cornfield. Only two would stumble back to life. Nearly 50 years later, DNA and detective persistence finally revealed his identity. This is the story of the Indianapolis Slasher. August 1975, Indianapolis. Hot, humid summer nights muffled in Midwestern stillness. Teenagers Kathy and 𝖕𝖊𝖉𝖎𝖆 and Candace Smith, three innocent girls, set out to spend a carefree evening at the local arcade. Kathy, 14, her sister 𝖕𝖊𝖉𝖎, 11, and their friend Candace, 13, purchased snacks, then made a fateful decision to hitchhike the rest of the way. They were young, trusting, naively hopeful, but danger hung in the rearview mirror. One stranger stopped, driving an old station wagon, inviting them into the front seat, claiming no room in back. This was a single choice that would spiral their lives into a nightmare. What led a stranger to pick them, and why would he turn on them minutes later? Once inside, the driver ignored their directions, continued past their intended destination. Kathy reached for the wheel, panic, and the man drew a gun, pressing it to her temple. "Move over or I will blow your head off." Their doors lacked handles, panel hardware missing, trapping them inside. Inside a field lane, the car stopped. One by one, he forced them out. 𝖕𝖊𝖉𝖎 was pulled from the car, stabbed in the neck, and left unconscious in the corn. Candace was let out, stabbed a dozen times, left for dead after lying still. Kathy was then dragged out and stabbed 5 times, again and again. Then, silence. The slasher drove off, leaving them bleeding, collapsing in the field. 2 girls eventually awakened. Kathy and Candace, desperate, they staggered to find 𝖕𝖊𝖉𝖎, who survived but remained unconscious nearby. How could anyone survive such brutality? And who was this monster? Law enforcement combed the cornfield, collected evidence, bloody clothes, witness accounts, crime scene photos, but the attacker vanished. No reliable suspect. Victim statements were fragmented by trauma and confusion. The missing door hardware, the station wagon, from where? Who had motive? Over decades, the case turned cold. No leads, no arrests. The Indianapolis Slasher became legend in cold case circles, haunting investigators and residents alike. Despite modern forensics, nearly 50 years passed until one final clue changed everything. Thanks to advances in DNA profiling, investigators revisited evidence from the 1975 crime. In early 2024, breakthroughs in cold case databases led to a match, finally unmasking the attacker after decades in darkness. At last, the girls and their families heard a name, reckoning decades overdue. But does justice now lie in a courtroom or remain out of reach? Kathy, Candace, and 𝖕𝖊𝖉𝖎, now adults, had carried trauma stark and raw. Healing's fragile. PTSD and anxiety burdened their lives. Public reaction surged when the name finally was released. Some saw closure, others fury at the delay. The local press returned. The cold case resolution reopened old wounds, but also offered a measure of peace. Community groups, true crime forums, and podcasts echoed the news, calling out institutional failure and praising persistence of forensic science. But was justice enough after all these years? No mainstream film or true crime documentary has yet dramatized this specific case, despite its brutality, mystery, and final resolution. Unlike high-profile cases like the Green River Killer or Zodiac, the Indianapolis Slasher stayed quiet in public imagination until 2025. How much of true crime storytelling distorts memory or magnifies it? What does this case say about resilience and the limits of justice? 3 girls survived an unspeakable attack and carried forward through years of fear. Science evolved, but victims were left waiting for half a century. Do you think justice served can still feel hollow, even when the truth finally comes out? Let us know in the comments. Even decades later, what remains unsaid can hurt as deeply as the crime itself.
If you enjoyed this true crime story, don't forget to like and subscribe and let us know what you think in the comments. Want to watch another chilling tale from the underworld? Check out these other videos on screen.